Hey guys, welcome to Marketing Cheat Guides. Today I have on the show Jayden Maharaj. He's from accessmarketing.co. He's been doing Facebook ads for over a year now, just getting into bots in the last 4 or 5 months. He's going to bring a lot about how you can use Facebook bots and automation on Facebook to really drive a business. Thanks a lot for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really excited for this interview.
Awesome. All right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this business?
Yeah, so about a year and a half ago is when I first got into kind of digital marketing and e-commerce. I actually started my own e-commerce store back then, and I had a little bit of success with it. And what I really learned from the experience is what the power of Facebook ads is, especially when you're driving traffic to a highly targeted audience. So I ran that for about a year. Then I actually switched over to a digital marketing agency that I started myself. That's called Access Marketing, as Stuart mentioned. And what we've found is we started running Facebook ads, and as Facebook bots grew in popularity, we started getting into them as well and applying them for existing clients. And the results that we found was just staggering, really. What we did before is we drove our traffic from a Facebook ad to a landing page. And then, we would do that to collect emails, and then our emails, we would get anywhere from 15 to 30% open rates. But what we started doing now is we drive that traffic, instead of to a landing page, we drive it right to Facebook Messenger. And what we're getting now is we're getting, anywhere from 80 to 90% open rates and getting 40 to 50% click-through rates as well. So that's been absolutely astonishing for us, and our clients are amazed by that too. So we started doing that about 4 or 5 months ago, and it's just been growing ever since then because we've been doing so well for our clients.
So what got you into digital marketing? What was your background before that? Were you finishing school, or were you...
Yeah, so I'm a pretty young guy. So I was in school last year when I first started my e-commerce business. It was around the end of my first year in school, and what I had kind of learned is, it was around the time when Pokemon Go was getting big back in last July. I kind of just started a Pokemon Go shop, selling like apparel and that kind of thing. And it was getting into that venture that I realized in, the time that I was running that business, that I had learned way more about business and marketing and sales and being an entrepreneur just from that experience than, that whole time I had spent in school. So then I kind of looked at that and I'm like, okay, well, I want to run businesses. Like, school isn't teaching me how to run businesses. So the only way I'm going to learn how to run them is by actually running businesses. So that's kind of what I realized. So I stopped going to school. And then when I started focusing on this digital agency, that's where things really started to click. And then I just started taking on more and more clients, and that's how we got to where I am today.
Awesome. So when you first got it started, how did you find your first clients? A lot of people watching this today are earlier on in the journey than you, so definitely I'm sure they're going to look for some insight in terms of how you were able to land clients when you first got started.
Yeah, definitely. So there's a couple of strategies that I use. One is, and you can use them together as well. One is if you're just getting started and you don't have experience, don't be afraid to offer your work for free or for a big discount just to get a case study or testimonial. Because at the end of the day, what's really going to sell your services are the results that you're getting for clients. So you want to make sure that you've got very, very good results for ideally for a specific niche or vertical, because it makes it way easier to get clients within that vertical. And then the second thing I would say is make strategic partnerships with people that are selling similar services, but not the exact same service. So one of the things I did is I partnered with a guy who's involved in the Amazon space, and he does a lot of work with Amazon sellers. And basically what happened there is I ran a campaign for him for free, and we got really good results. And because he is fairly well known in the Amazon space, he told some people about my service. And then just within that week, I think I closed 3 or 4 clients just coming in from referrals. So it's something where, don't be afraid to work for free to get a case study, or, to work for free for someone who has influence or who has a network, because that free work might result to you in, $5,000 to $10,000 a month of recurring revenue from new clients coming in. And that's what the case was for me. So those are the two things I would say is, don't be afraid to work for free and make strategic partnerships.
Okay. So when you were getting started, did you encounter any kind of challenges in your business? And if so, how did you overcome them?
Yeah. So for me, one of the big things was, I was afraid of sales, to be honest. Sales is intimidating for me. So, picking up the phone and calling a business was something that was challenging. I liked to call because I want to speak with someone over the phone. And that was definitely a big challenge, just, making those first 15 calls. But the biggest thing about that is I kind of just told myself, okay, it's a numbers game. At the end of the day, I could talk to 90 people, they could all say no, and the next 5 could say yes. I don't know, right? So that's the way things work sometimes, is that could happen. So having that mentality switch of, regardless, I'm going to do X amount of calls, I don't care what's going to happen, I'm going to do 10 calls every single day. And, eventually I'm going to get clients from it because it is a numbers game. So I think just getting over that mental hurdle of actually reaching out to people, it was a big thing for me.
Definitely taking that action. So many people sit on the sidelines, don't take the action, and obviously you're not going to get any results doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you mentioned niching down. So is there specific niches that you work in today, or specific clients that lend themselves well to using chatbots?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things I would say is this is definitely a service that is for the type of business that, people are always looking for an edge that they can get over their competitors. Mm-hmm. So that's what we found with Amazon sellers. That's one of the niches I work with. It's basically a perfect competition on Amazon. You want to rank your product as high as possible. So that's kind of where we came in and we said, okay, yeah, we have a great way where we can, not only rank your product on Amazon, but also build an audience outside of Amazon through this chatbot and, send traffic to future promotions. So that's something that helped us, really get clients quickly in the Amazon space. And then another area that we've gone after are gyms. And gyms, the reason we went after gyms is because there's a very kind of simple structure that we can set up where we get people into the gym on, like a 2-week free trial, 1-week free trial, and we provide them with follow-up value right in Facebook Messenger. And because they're hearing from that gym, every day or every couple of days for 2 weeks, a lot of them just sign up on the monthly plan right after that because, they've gone to the gym, they've liked that experience, they like the experience they're getting in Messenger because we're providing value there. And it's helped a lot of people to sign up directly after the trial. So that's something that's worked really well with us for gyms.
So in terms of this, you found your two kind of niches. Now that you've kind of established some case studies, what's your go-to-market strategy in terms of landing new clients? Is it mostly word of mouth, or have you found something encompassing a bot to actually bring in business for yourself?
Yeah, so the biggest thing for me, to be honest, was over the last, I would say, month and a half, is I got too many new client inquiries, and I just wasn't able to. I was able to fulfill all the work, but I wasn't able to prospect and actively get more clients because I was so focused on delivering the work. So what I had to do over the last month or so is just put systems in place so that I can have employees that are fulfilling the work. And I'm able to, prospect and gain more clients. So that's something, I put on the back burner for now. But going into December, we're setting up some cold emailing systems so that we can have prospects coming in. We have our sales strategies. Like we have done cold calling with success. The biggest thing we haven't done it in the last, couple weeks to a month is just lack of time. So that's another strategy we're going to go to. So I would say those are the two big ones: cold emailing and cold calling. And what we basically do to encompass a bot into that is we build a demo for that client, and we basically say, hey, this is what we're going to build out. This is how it's going to work to bring you new customers. Here's the link for you to check it out. And then we have them go and run through it, or we'll run through it with them, live on a call and show them how it works mechanically. And what happens a lot of the time, because we really know what our clients are looking for, because we've worked in that industry, is a lot of the time after we show them what we can do, they're just kind of blown away, and they're like, okay, how do we get started? So that's basically our strategy for going to market and getting more clients.
Awesome. So you've been doing this now for a year. What are some pieces of either advice or lessons you've learned that you would have liked to have known 12 months ago, 16 months ago when you were getting started?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one thing for sure is just if things aren't going well, to just persevere. Don't get distracted by shiny objects. I know shiny object syndrome was a big thing for me. When I wasn't having success right away, and I would do 10 calls and not get anyone interested and be like, okay, cold calling doesn't work. I got to move on to the next thing, and it's like that's not realistic at all, right? So I would say persevering is one thing, and just making sure to make consistent action every day, because there were some times where I just I didn't want to do something and I wouldn't, and because I didn't do that action, it set me behind unnecessarily, and it was all just a mental block, really. So those are the two things: is perseverance and just making consistent action.
Awesome. So I'm curious. I mean, I'm somewhat new to the whole bot concept. What do you see happening? What do you see kind of the landscape looking at if you're going to look into the future 3, 6, 12 months down the road? I remember getting a message from Russell Brunson probably almost a year ago now when it first came out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was obviously not Russell Brunson, so it was very clear that it was a bot. So I opted out of that fairly quickly, but I think people have kind of gotten smarter not to make it seem like, hey, you're the celebrity messaging everybody. So what do you see happening? Do you think Facebook's going to continue to develop this? Do you think this is going to become mainstream and maybe even take over some of email?
Yeah, so I definitely think messenger marketing and chatbots are going to be a huge marketing channel for the future. I think that Facebook is actively supporting chatbots. They're opening up integrations for third parties so that they can go in and do things with Facebook's API. So it's definitely something that Facebook is promoting. However, it is in its very, very early stages marketing-wise, and as a result, there's going to be lots of changes that happen. One of the things that's happening right now is Facebook's definitely going to get stricter on sending out promotional content. Right now, like there's not a whole lot of spam with these messenger bot marketing. But when some of but another thing about that is not all marketers know about messenger bot marketing, and once that starts to get out to all the various different marketers, someone's going to go in and start sending messages 10 times a day and ruin it for everyone. And yeah, basically when that happens, Facebook's going to be like, okay, here are some tighter restrictions around what you can and can't do. They already have it set up that you can't send promotional content after 24 hours after someone's interacted with your bot, but that's a little bit of a gray area for what they deem to be promotional content. So it's something that what I found is as long as when you send your message to the prospect, as long as it's not an unsolicited sales message, there shouldn't be any issues there.
Interesting. And in terms of the various platforms, are you looking at it like there's going to be one winner, or do you think there's going to be 5, 6, 7 different platforms that people are using the bots on?
Yeah, there's already 2, I would say, main platforms that I've seen most marketers gravitate to. Those are ManyChat and ChatFuel. As far as I know, I don't think there's going to be one that kind of takes over everything. I think it'll be similar to how email marketing is, where there's many different solutions that you can use, and people just pick whatever's most relevant for what stage they're at in their business. So for example, with ManyChat versus ChatFuel, ChatFuel allows for more advanced integration and coding to be done. So that's for, your more technical bot. But if you're just setting up something for lead generation or relatively simple structures without advanced integrations, I personally prefer ManyChat. I found the UI for ManyChat to be much easier to navigate within. They also came out with this flow builder feature somewhat recently, which it makes it super easy to kind of map out how your bot will look. So for me, I personally use ManyChat, and I highly recommend it because I've had a great experience with them.
And just for people who haven't had experience with it yet, what would you say the learning curve is for it? Is it like learning to program, or is it fairly user-friendly?
Yeah, it's actually quite user-friendly. ManyChat has some great videos on their YouTube channel. So I would say if you're interested in messenger bot marketing, really you can watch a couple videos, read a couple articles, and then go into ManyChat and start playing around with it. And just by doing that, you can get a feel for how to set up messenger bots relatively quickly. Especially if you have experience setting up other types of marketing automation. So if you've set up email marketing sequences before, when you go into Chatbot, it's going to be the same thing essentially, just within a different medium or within a different channel. So if you have marketing automation experience, then it won't be too complicated to get a grasp of.
What is the current market rate that people are paying to set up a chatbot? So for those marketers that are interested in taking a look at it, just to give them an idea, is it like running Facebook ads for someone? What would be like a monthly retainer that one would make, or is it generally like a one and done, you set it up and hand it off?
Yeah, so that's a bit hard to say just because there's so many different types of bots that you can set up. Like, when you think of a bot, you can have, a bot that focuses on sales, a bot that focuses on customer service. So there's a lot just within that. The price for a bot can range anywhere from $1,000 if it's a relatively simple bot that you set up, with just a Facebook ad going to a chatbot, and then just having a simple follow-up sequence from there. All the way up to $10,000-$20,000 if you're setting up a very advanced chatbot that has custom integrations, that has AI learning capacity, all of that stuff. So there is a really, really big range. What we focus on is just kind of the lower end lead gen side of things, setting up basically a source to drive Facebook ads to, and then for us to market to down the line. That's what we focus on. So that's on the lower end of that side. And basically what we do is we wrap it all up into a monthly fee that someone pays for the Facebook ad management as well as the bot setup and management.
So this is something that you'd see if someone's running Facebook ads, adding this to part of their kind of offering makes a lot of sense, it seems.
Absolutely, yeah. I think if you're running Facebook ads right now, it doesn't make sense to not offer Facebook bots as a service.
Awesome. All right, so now that you've kind of got your business up and running, it sounds like you're starting to add the systematization in the background so that you're going to be able to take yourself out of actually doing the technical work, focus more on the business growth. How would you say you're dividing your times in terms of your major activities?
Yeah, so one of the things that I would say right now is most of my time right now is focused on hiring and training. I recently hired a good friend of mine, which was awesome that I was able to give him a job working on the bot sequences. So a lot of time has spent, just training him. I want him to become almost like the project manager for all bot sequences within our organization. Yep. So that's kind of what I'm grooming him into at this point. So I would say it's mostly focused on that. There is a little bit of client work that I'm doing as well, but that's definitely not taking up the majority of my time. And then I would say, probably about 60% focused on hiring and training, 20% focused on the actual client work, and then another 20% right now is just focused on getting my prospecting systems in place so that we can start attracting more clients.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So in terms of reading or keeping up, where do you go to learn about this? You mentioned YouTube. Is there anywhere else you would say that people should check out? Any other kind of groups or resources that they should look into to learn a little bit more about this?
Yeah, so there's a really good website that has a lot of information about Facebook bots, and it's called botsforbusiness.com. So here, the link for that is actually bots4.business, and they've got a bunch of really great resources just about how bots work, and how you can find benefits from bots. So that's something that I found to be really effective for finding out new information about bots. There's also a couple of Facebook groups that I'm in that are specifically focused on marketing for messenger bots. So it like literally, if you type into the search bar marketing with messenger bots, you'll find a couple of really great groups. And that's where I found the most value, just because I'm able to interact with other people running bots on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. So there's one group, it's called Marketing with Messenger Bots, that I would highly recommend, because it's a great group that has value for messenger bot marketing. And then another thing is, in about 2 or 3 weeks from now, I'm going to be rolling out my own Facebook group where I'm talking about Facebook ads and messenger marketing. I haven't announced a name for that or anything like that, but I will keep you posted when that happens.
Stay tuned. Check below in the comments. I'm sure it will be there.
It's a sneak peek for now.
There we go. All right. Well, I like to end kind of interviews asking a question. So what's something you've spent $100 on in the last month or two that you're enjoying that was a good purchase for you?
Maybe not. I spent $100 on the actual tickets. I went to a concert last week, and it was awesome. It was for this producer, Flying Lotus. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but yeah, that was about $100 experience with the tickets, drinks, everything like that. And that was just a good night because the last couple of months I've been working really hard, so it's good to have a night like that where you get out with your friends and have a fun night. So that was probably the best $100 I've spent in the last couple of months.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you're still here, definitely give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. If you have any comments, drop them below. We'll definitely be monitoring the comments. Happy to engage with you here on the channel. Jayden, thanks for taking the time to join us today, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate you having me on.